Welcome back, everybody. Catching a cancer diagnosis early can come from noticing even the smallest changes, and that can make a huge difference in someone getting the treatment and the care that they need quickly.
Baylor Scott and White Health is driving home that point by unveiling a pair of tiny cleats tied to a star NFL player. Here to explain more about these tiny cleats and this effort as a whole is Dr. Mohammad Makkouk with Baylor Scott and White Internal Medicine. Doctor, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you guys for having me.
So sitting between us, we'll explain for folks, is perhaps the smallest pair of cleats, but modeled from right next to it, this larger pair of cleats that actually Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott has been wearing. And so explain the message behind this. What do you hope people notice when they see Dak wearing the cleats, and then of course the tiny version too? What's the message behind it?
Yeah, so I love this project. So these cleats have a very special message on them. And so on the back of the cleats, it says, take a closer look. And then in the pink, it says, see the unseen. And the reason why this is important, and also represented by these tiny little baby cleats, Dak did lose his mom to cancer. And personally for me, my mom had cancer, but thanks to screening, was caught at an early enough stage where she completed treatment. And so the message here is we want to catch cancer when it's small, not something that's causing symptoms and causing problems, because that's going to be when it's the easiest to treat and get the best results.
Absolutely.
And so oftentimes if we're waiting until we're getting symptoms from cancer, then it's going to be at a more advanced stage. Treatment becomes harder and the cure rate is not as good.
Yeah, and we're so happy to hear that your mom is doing well at this point. But can you talk to us a little bit more about what you would ask people to pay attention to with their bodies and their health, so that they can get help whenever they need it?
Yeah, for sure. And so a big part of cancer screening is making sure at certain ages and at certain points of our life we're doing screening. So for women, between 40 and 45, starting mammograms for breast cancer. For adults, around 45, starting colonoscopies for colon cancer. For men, between 50 and 60, starting prostate cancer screening. And then there are some guidelines for lung cancer screening as well. Obviously, if you're having any symptoms which are changing, unexplained weight loss, blood in your stools or changes in your stools, if you notice any masses or lumps or anything different, those would be reasons to get tested right away.
Right.
But even if you're not having any of those symptoms, it's important to get the screening done at those milestones, because again, we want to catch cancer when it looks like this, not when it looks like this.
So you mentioned colon cancer. We know that is what Dak Prescott lost his mother to. We know he was wearing the cleats in the big game last night. So what is it like for you as a medical professional to see this message amplified on such a big stage with such a star like Dak and a team like the Cowboys? Yeah,
big shout out to Dak for what he's doing. So the awareness that he's bringing to this. So 1/3 of U.S. adults are not getting the screening that they need. And so that's a huge opportunity for us to get these people in, get them screened, catch these cancers early. Cancer, unfortunately, is inevitable for so many of us, and until that changes, the best thing we can do is to catch it early. And so Dak is bringing a lot of attention to that. He was wearing the magic shoes yesterday and had the winning touch, which I love. Just makes it so much sweeter.
Yeah, carries that message even farther.
Yeah.
So Baylor Scott and White is asking people to look out, of course, for these cleats out on the field, but also to take a screening quiz online. Can you talk to us about what that includes if people want to check it out?
Yeah, so people can go to BaylorScottandWhite.com/getscreened, and there's a survey there that will kind of help guide you in terms of what kind of screening you're indicated for. And if they complete that, they'll actually be entered into a chance to win a pair of these little tiny cleats, which is a big win for me. And so a lot of this can be overwhelming, and so there's a lot of information here. Patients don't need to worry about that part. Get in to see your doctor, whether it's with Baylor Scott and White or whoever. We're set up to take that worry off of you, and we'll get you on track to get the screening that you're needed, because a lot of that's going to be personalized to each patient.
Sure.
So helpful to have that resource that people can log on, and we'll link to that in this story too. But doctor, thank you so much for joining us, for Baylor Scott and White, for helping raise awareness, and of course to Dak too. So thanks for being here today and giving this important message to folks.
Thank you guys, I appreciate it.
We appreciate you. Okay, we'll be right back after the break with more news and another check on your forecast.